I apologize if you're home, you missed the first two words. Welcome to our first meeting. Oh, sorry. Thank you those joining us. Welcome to our first meeting of the fall season. Start off with a couple of recognitions. One, it's National Research Administrators Day. So thank you to all those Jericho faculty who fill those roles in our natural science and social sciences class. And second of all, I'm hoping you all know it is National Daughter Day. So if you, all of us who are lucky enough to have daughters, make sure you let them know how much she means to you today. Thank you very much. A few quick items before we get started. Some of this will be repetition for the people who listened last month. But in looking at the calendar, you'll notice we now have 2 meetings per month. We used to have 1 meeting and 1 work session. We've changed the name and to some extent what we do. Typically, we will address student and PTA updates, prior meeting minutes, and most board schedules at our second meeting each month. The first will be more informational and project and presentation focused, but there could be important business and decisions at either meeting. So, I encourage you to review the agenda when it is released, typically the Friday before the meeting. Please make a note that our schools will be closed next Thursday, October 2nd, and also Monday, October 13th, and Monday, October 20th. Before I turn it over to Dr. Kravitz, I would like to commend him, of course, and of course our new athletic director, Mr. Brett Kornblum. Under their very brief stewardship, we've already become a football powerhouse, and we are excited about our 2-0 start to the season, including last week's exciting come-from-behind homecoming victory under the lights. Congratulations to all the coaches led by Mr. Lottie, who've worked extremely hard to revive our football program over the last few years and are now enjoying the fruit of some of their efforts. And then finally, for the people at home, I want to commend Mr. Larkin and Ms. Melito and whoever else is involved in getting us this great new microphone system. Hopefully, it is working better this month, given that we don't have fans here for the hot weather. With that, why don't we go then so they can get home and study. Our middle school report, we have Kazem Khan and Eugene Wong from the middle school. Could you please come speak?
Another school year in Jericho Middle School. We hope you had a relaxing summer. My name is Eugene Wong, and my name is Kazem Khan. We are 6th grade student council representatives. It is a pleasure to be here this evening. School opened on Wednesday, August 27th, and everything ran smoothly, even though students are still getting used to not eating phones at all during the school day. Baby steps. 6th graders can attribute their smooth transition in part to high school leaders for Project A, assisting incoming middle school students, who volunteered to help the next 6th grade students feel comfortable from day one. They guided students in the hallways, assisted the 6th graders on how to open their lockers, and shared their positive experiences in the middle school. We would like to thank our high school social worker, Mr. Velez, and our middle school social worker, Ms. Brelin, for coordinating this program, as well as the high school students who volunteered their time. And a very big thank you to Dr. Kravitz and all of our administrators for helping make the opening of school a successful day. And to our custodial staff for the immaculate school we returned to, as well as our transportation department. It was so nice to see our bus drivers greet us every morning and to fist bump our security staff in the building. And a big shout out to Mr. Gleason and Mrs. Believe for making school feel safe and fun to come to every day. And now for breaking news. We must let you that nests aren't just for birds. Our middle school restorative circles are also called nests. Our first nest was Friday, September 19th. During nest, students and staff played games, listened to music, enjoyed and engaged in conversations in an effort to create community. Appropriately, SCA theme for September is community. On September 16th, Jericho Public Schools honored our students as 2025 National Discovery Award winners by the Lowell Milken Center for Unsung Heroes for their outstanding historical research. Congratulations to our finalists Gianna Anand, Ryan Chang, Yifan Gao, and Alan Zane, as well as semifinalists Nicholas Wang, Alice Liu, Milani Ramesh, Gihan Hashi, and Andrew Zen. A special congratulations to Ananya Kabi on her website and Angel in Harlem. A special congratulations to Dr. May Edgerton. Ananya was awarded $500 for her research. Special thanks to the middle school social studies teachers and librarians who supported these remarkable achievements, especially Ms. Cantwell, Mr. Lawler, and Ms. Conklin. Lastly, Dr. Eric Sundberg, Curriculum Associate in Social Studies, Business and Libraries, was recognized by the Lowell Milken Center as an outstanding leader at the Jericho Schools. Congratulations to all. September 19th was also the same day our homecoming weekend began. It was filled with rides, games, food, as well as sporting events. It was a great weekend for students, staff, and family members to come together. It was so much fun. Things are off and running. We hosted our middle school back to school night on Wednesday, September 10th. We had a great turnout. Our middle school yearbook portraits were today and are tomorrow. The students were absent or just had a bad hair day. The makeup date for portraits is Friday, November 14th. The STAs will announce the photo schedule for the team. Our clubs, interscholastic sports, and intramurals have begun. Each morning, announcements are made regarding meeting times and locations. Did you know that the White House has 35 bathrooms? Well, if you are an 8th grader, you may learn such facts during the 8th grade trip to Washington, D.C. on October 6th, 16th, and 17th. All students are looking forward to exploring D.C. Calling all ogres, donkeys, and magical creatures. Auditions for the middle school musical, Shrek, took place last week. Today is the first rehearsal. The musical is scheduled for December 4th and 5th. Mark your calendars. On Thursday, October 23rd, we will be celebrating our annual Ovatus Kickoff. This year's theme is No Matter What. We will be sharing details about this anti-bullying program in the upcoming weeks. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. The campaign highlights the need for continued support for research, care, and advocacy to improve survival rates and outcomes for children worldwide. The Student Council is asking all students to wear yellow on Tuesday, September 30th to support Childhood Cancer Month. Well, that's all for now. Looking forward to an awesome 2025-2026 school year.
Hopefully all the middle school presentations are that informative and enjoyable going forward. Next, from the high school with the high bar to clear, we have Mr. Dev Lakhani and Ms. Emma Zhu.
Definitely a tough act to follow. But good evening, everyone. My name is Emma Zhu, and I'm one of your Student Council co-presidents for the 2025-2026 school year.
And I'm Dev Lakhani, your other co-president.
Tonight, we're excited to share what's been happening around Jericho this month.
So let's just jump right into our updates. Similarly, like the middle school, our back-to-school energy has been absolutely amazing. Students have settled into their routines perfectly, and their energy around school has been fantastic.
Speaking of energy, our pep rally was a huge success. The student body really came together to show their Jayhawk spirit, and it definitely set the tone for our fall sports season. Our winner for this year's pep rally was the boys volleyball team.
Homecoming was equally as successful. We had many clubs set up their booths to raise money and awareness, and we had people from all of our schools and this community and other communities to come to our carnival rides, which honestly gave me a stomach ache, but it was really fun.
Now let's talk about our sports, because our teams have absolutely been crushing it. As Mr. Perlman was saying earlier, boys football pulled off an incredible 21-20 victory that had everyone on the other edges of their seats.
Not just that, our soccer teams have also been having a phenomenal season, with boys soccer going 5-0 on their game and girls soccer going 4-0.
But now moving on to some of the Jericho students with their amazing achievements. As always, Jericho students are continuing to come out on top. On September 16th, Jericho schools honored our students as 2025 National Discovery Award winners for the Lowell Milken Center for Unsung Heroes with their outstanding historical research.
Big congratulations to Jay Patel and Ryan Hassan, who earned the $6,000 grand prize for their powerful documentary, The Unsung Hero of Industrial Health, Alice Hamilton's Responsibility in Shaping Industrial Health Policies.
We also celebrated Ara Wu and Chloe Hu, winners of the $2,500 Outstanding High School Award for their inspiring project From Oppression to Action in Solidarity, Yuri Kochiyama, an unsung hero in activism.
And additional congratulations goes out to our semifinalists and finalists, Judy Liang, Isabel Dion, and Caitlin Chun, and a special thanks to the teachers who made these remarkable achievements possible, especially Dr. Delsing.
And once again, thank you to Dr. Sundberg, as well as Mr. Caboros, as they were recognized as Lowell Milken Center as astounding leaders at Jericho Schools.
Extending to the music department, they're very proud of their NYSSMA All-State announcement of 4 musicians selected to perform in Rochester this December. We have a congratulations to Ara Wu, Eason Chen, Jia Choi, and Margina Chen.
And from the English department, we're excited to announce that Ginko Chen, a 12th grader, won the New York Times Summer Reading Contest for Week 10.
It's been an incredible month for Jericho and Jericho High School, and we're proud to represent such an amazing student body.
And just another reminder that our annual blood drive will be Tuesday, October 7th from 8 to 2 in the Sam Springer Gym, as anyone 16 and over can donate with a signed permission slip. Thanks for your time tonight, and we look forward to continue to share all the great things happening in Jericho.
Cleared the bar beautifully. Next up, we have our PTA update from Aileen Gingold.
Good evening, Dr. Kravitz, Board of Ed members, Central Administration, faculty, staff, and community members. My name is Aileen Gingold, and I am the president of the Joint PTA Council, and it's my pleasure to be here tonight. The Jericho Joint PTA Council held its first meeting on Monday, September 8th, where we had the privilege of hearing from Dr. Kravitz. Together with Central Administration, we discussed our school opening, welcoming information night, parent square, and the new cell phone policy, our outstanding new faculty hires, and so much more. We are so grateful for this monthly opportunity to maintain an open line of communication with our administration and to discuss all that is happening across our district. Last week, the entire district came together in anticipation of homecoming with a spirited week of activities. On Friday, the boys varsity football team and the Jayettes helped spread school pride by visiting our elementary schools, followed by a high energy pep rally at the high school. As soon as the middle school bell rang around 2 p.m., the carnival kicked off with amazing rides and fun. A heartfelt thank you goes to Victor Manuel, Maggie Rose, Brian Cummings, Michaela Finley, and all the teachers who worked so hard to plan such an incredible event. In addition, we are so grateful to the middle school and high school PTSAs for adding to the fun with delicious treats from pizza to bubble tea, donuts, chips, and candy. Congratulations once again to the boys varsity football team for making history with a big win over Valley Stream and starting their season 2-0. Their pregame show and fan attendance helped set the tone for the big game. On Saturday, the excitement continued as our clubs recruited new members and joined in the community celebration. The weekend also included the girls swimmy, boys varsity badminton, boys JV football, girls JV tennis, and both boys and girls varsity soccer games, truly showcasing the spirit of Jericho. I am proud to share that all of our PTA units are off to an incredible start this year. Each unit is striving for 100% membership, and with Member Hub, joining is easier than ever. We are continually looking for new ways to increase involvement and strengthen our impact. If you have any ideas, suggestions, or concerns, I encourage you to reach out to your school's PTA officers, as your voice and participation is always welcome. A special congratulations goes out to both Jackson Elementary and the high school for earning the prestigious Horizon Membership Award, presented by New York State PTA to units that develop and submit a comprehensive plan to grow their membership. Our PTA units have already been hard at work. Cantech PTA launched a revamped website, is preparing for this Saturday's Color Run, and has already hosted both the 5th grade sports social and our car wash. Jackson PTA welcomed back teachers and new families on opening day with a delicious breakfast and lunch, and tomorrow they will be hosting a fun run and picnic at 4 p.m. Jeffrey Ratner, Robert Seaman greeted staff with a refreshing yogurt and iced coffee bar, and already kicked off the year with a family fun day at Adventureland on September 14th. The middle school and high school's PTSAs welcome faculty, staff, and administration back to school with Mongo's iced coffee, fruit, pastries, during opening week. The middle school ran a book fair from September 16th to 19th, and the high school senior committee is already at work selling senior teas on Member Hub for $20. Proceeds will support the senior party, a free event for all seniors on June 3rd. SEPTA is preparing for its welcome breakfast on September 30th at Jeffrey Ratner Robert Seaman and continues to plan a wide range of meaningful programs for students in grades K through 12. We encourage you to support their membership and the many wonderful events they bring to our district. Please save the date for our second Health and Wellness Fair on Tuesday, October 22nd at 7 p.m. We are proud to partner again with top physicians from Northwell and the Katz Institute for Women's Health for this community-wide event. All are welcome to attend and benefit from informative talks and resources. Topics will be announced in a couple of days. Our PTAs cannot succeed alone. We are grateful for the support of our Board of Education, administrators, staff, and community partners. Together, we look forward to a safe, healthy, and successful school year. Thank you and good night.
Thank you to everyone for those updates. Now we're going to quickly move into official or required business that we have before we get to you, sir. So we'll move to approval of minutes. Recommended motion, be it resolved that the Board of Education make any necessary corrections and move the approval of minutes of the regular meeting dated August 4th, the special meeting dated August 15th, and the regular meeting dated September 11th, 2025. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Dr. Balachandra. Second, Mrs. Vartanoff, thank you. All in favor of approving those 4 minutes? All in favor? 5-0. Thank you very much. Now, hold on a second. We are very fortunate with us tonight to have Mr. Alan Yu of the firm Cohen Danowski, our outside auditors. The audit committee met privately with Mr. Yu earlier this evening to review the report. Given the district's buttoned-up financials, thanks to Assistant Superintendent Manuel and Miss Melissa Lee in the business department, and actually the whole business staff, and the clean opinion from Mr. Yu's firm, it was a good discussion. We asked Mr. Yu to again review the audit report here publicly with the community, and please feel free to ask questions should they arise. The audit report, or the draft audit report, as well as all the letters, management letter, governance letter, can all be found as part of the packet that's on the district website under the board tab.
Thank you, Mr. Furman, for that introduction. Good evening, members of the board, members of administration, and members of the public. My name is Alan Yu. I am one of the audit partners of the firm, Cohen and Danowski, and our firm was appointed by the Board of Education to be the school district's external auditor. That means we audit your district's financial statements for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2025. As Mr. Perlman mentioned, as required by law, I met with the audit committee and went over the results of the audit. And I'm happy to report to you that we are issuing what's known as an unmodified opinion on your district's financial statements, otherwise known as a clean opinion, which means the district's financial statements were prepared in accordance with GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles. We were also required by government auditing standards to issue a report about the district's internal control of financial reporting, as well as your compliance with laws and regulations. Also happy to report that we did not have any reportable findings, and it was also a clean opinion. We looked at your district's internal controls and we performed testing. We noted that the recommendations that we had from our previous fiscal year's audit have been implemented by the district, and we did not have any new findings or recommendations from this current year's audit. Overall, your district has very, very strong internal controls, and I commend the business office, Ms. Manuel, who cannot be here tonight, and Melissa Lee, as well as all the staff in the business office. They really have performed a very good job. And financially, Jericho School District continues to be very strong financially. Your general fund has a healthy fund balance with restricted reserves that your district has continued to use, including the capital reserve to fund capital constructions without the need to go out and borrow long-term debt such as serial bonds. And as far as the overall reserves, the district has been using not only the capital reserve, but also Teachers Retirement System Reserve and the Employee Retirement System Reserve, as well as the Employee Benefit Accrued Liability Reserve that is designed to pay for retirement benefits upon employee separation from retirement from the school district. And I'm also happy to report to you that we did not have to propose any audit adjustments as part of our audit, which is a rarity. Points to the strength of your business office staff, and especially Melissa Lee, CPA, your district treasurer. So congratulations to your district, and especially to the district administration under the leadership of Dr. Kravitz, as well as Mr. Manuel and Melissa Lee. I want to thank them to help us complete the audit in a very timely manner. The New York State Education requirement, New York State Education Department's requirement is that the New York Public School District's financial statements be completed and submitted to them by October 15th. We're going to be, as in the past years, well ahead of schedule, and we will be able to finalize this audit report after the school board has, presumably, will accept the audit report at this evening.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Yu? Any of our business teachers? I don't even know if they're here tonight, Mr. Sundberg, Dr. Sundberg. Without any questions, Mr. Yu, thank you, and we hope to give you good news in a little while that we've approved the extra audit.
Thank you.
Mr. Jin.
Yeah, I know I asked the question before,
Sure.
I'm gonna ask it again, so
Okay.
the public's being aware. Based on the audits of the New York State Controller, the typical range of Nassau district manage the reserve between 5 to 30 millions. But our district, we have 6 different accounts in 6 different reserve funds. That's a total of 53 millions, which is well above the average.
So your district, we look at the general fund as far as the reserves are concerned. You have 5 reserves, including capital reserve. You have an employment insurance reserve, the teacher's retirement system, as well as the employee retirement system, which is actually part of one reserve, but the sub-funds. And combined, the total reserves at about $40 million, and you're correct. The total fund balance is $51.8 million, which puts you at roughly about 37% of your total spending. So on average, you're basically at the upper tier of Long Island school districts, if you will.
And this fund, the amount of the reserve is managed by the board, not the state law or anything like that, right? I know you answered the question before, but I just want from the top.
Right. So the reserves are established in accordance with state law, depending on most, usually general municipal law, as well as state education law that governs that mandates how the capital reserves are to be operated. And the amounts of the reserves, the funding of the reserves, the size of the reserves are typically dictated by school boards. Okay? So various school districts, various communities would have different, I call it, I used the word appetite before.
Right.
And also depend on the needs. Some districts believe in a very, very lean fund balance, maybe some even in the 10 to 15% range. Typically, because of different sizes of school districts' budgets, we look at as auditors, we look at the fund balance and the reserves in relation to the annual budget as a whole. So typically for me, each district should have a minimum of at least 15, 16, 17% of total fund balance, including reserves of their annual spending in fund balance. The idea of reserve funds, as well as unrestricted unassigned fund balance of 4% rainy day funds, is in the event of spikes in expenditures that were unanticipated. Special education costs, these days they're running very high. And if there are new students coming into the district that require special education services, then also it could turn into an additional several $100,000 to more than $1 million in costs. So having fund balance and reserves will allow school districts to have the flexibility to manage these unanticipated costs. But ultimately, it is up to the school board, with the recommendation of school district administrations, to determine the optimum level of reserves funding that you feel your district ought to have.
But having the money in the fund also means that the cash is sitting in the bank and not doing anything. as well, right?
It's earning interest.
It's earning
It's earning interest, and school districts are very limited by state law as far as what type of investments you can have, because you want to safeguard public funds. So for the most part, like most of us, we keep money in the bank.
Right.
We manage to, the district, like all school districts, enjoy very high interest earnings the last few years. Okay, so your reserves are in the bank, earning bank interest, but at the same time, your district has been using the reserves. The capital reserve in particular, every May, I've seen every May there is an additional proposition number 2 or 3, that would request voters for authorization to use the capital reserves money to pay for capital constructions. So that allows the school district to not have to budget a lot of money in the annual general fund budget for capital construction, and also allow the school district to not have to, every 10, 15, 20 years, go out for a serial bond that would incur, obviously borrowing costs as well as interest expenses.
So technically, we can have the money in the money market with a high interest rate, and use that interest rate for something else. Can we take the
So,
interest rate out?
The answer to that is no, because interest earnings earned on monies that are part of the restricted reserves are also restricted for the specific purposes of those reserves. So for teachers' retirement system, an example, you have about $3.58 million at the end of June 30th, 2025. Your annual required contribution into teachers' retirement system, the pension plan, is a little over $5 million. Last year, and as well as this current fiscal year that we're in, as part of the budget, your district has used $300,000 from that reserve, and will continue to use another $300,000 from the reserve to help pay for this more than $5 million or $1 million of annual expenditures. That means the tax revenues or the current year revenues will not, can use to pay for something else other than this $300,000 of teachers' retirement system contribution. Employee retirement system contribution, similarly, the district has budgeted to use a portion of that to pay for part of the required contribution. The required contribution is now a little more than $3.5 million for the employee retirement system. The employee benefit accrued liability reserve, it's at $17 million, and that is used specifically to pay for retirement payouts for when district employees retire, and based on contract provisions, they have unused sick days, unused vacation days, then state law permits school districts and local governments that have this reserve to use the money from this reserve to pay for that payout. Okay, so this past fiscal year that we audited, it's almost $1.5 million that was funded with money from this reserve. So it's not just sitting there and doing nothing but earn interest, so it is being used. Okay, so it's the degree of usage, and that's part of the annual budgeting decisions that administration, together with the school board, will make on an annual basis.
Can we take out the interest and fund something else, or does it have to sit in the restricted fund reserve?
No, we cannot use it to fund something else. Like I said, because it becomes part of the restricted reserve, you can use the interest.
Can we adopt a new policy and to use the interest rate?
No, it's state law.
It's state law, okay, got it. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Nice try.
Hello, Mr. Moretti.
Like 3 quick questions.
You can have 5 quick questions.
I'll give you.
Wait, hold on. Just come up, join Mr. Yu so everyone at home can hear.
Okay. So there's some notes on here. I just have to look at what is, it might be for you guys, extra classroom activities fund balance of $245,928.
Student clubs.
Okay, but how does it balloon to that much money? I'm just curious.
That's 2 different things, actually. Equivalent to $200,000, you mean?
No, there's $245,000 sitting in an extra classroom activities fund balance. Like, where is that sitting?
Those are the collective balances, end of year cash balances of all of the various student clubs. So student clubs, they fundraise
sorry, but who controls them? I'm just curious, like,
The student clubs officers, with the aid of their faculty
okay,
advisors.
so are they in-district bank accounts, I guess?
Yes,
Right, yeah.
yes, they are.
Okay, second question was, the audit report says significant risks of material misstatement identified for revenue recognition due to fraud risk, is that correct?
So, okay, so that is, right, so that is a communication from the from the auditors to those charged with governance, which is the school board and the audit committee. So it's designed for us to, for auditors to report to the board that as part of our audit planning, what we have to take into consideration and plan for the potential of fraud. That's all it
Is there a
is.
potential, or was it, like, I'm just trying to understand the reason for the note. Is there a potential for it, or some sort of revenue recognition issue, or you're just saying that as like a boilerplate statement?
It is somewhat of a boilerplate statement that, you know, as auditors, we always have to treat revenue recognition as a potential fraud risk.
Okay, so probably the same answer for significant risks for federal grants and state funding revenue recognition, assuming same.
That's correct. Revenue recognition will always be a fraud risk for auditors.
Okay, and then final two, and it's more than three, I apologize. Compensated absence liability is 19.5 million, and I believe the retiree healthcare liability is 102 million?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
And we actually spent some time earlier at the audit committee to discuss those liabilities. So it's an accounting requirement to calculate a long-term liability based on the various contract provisions within bargaining unit contracts. Compensated absences liability, for the most part, as I mentioned earlier, has to do with the value of your employees' earned but unused paid absences, sick days, vacation days. Based on contracts, most school districts on Long Island happen to be quite generous because it's meant to be an incentive to incentivize and induce employees not to take sick days unless they need to, okay? Based on each school district's contract provisions, there's a calculation that is to be made based on historical information as to how many of these accrued days that are being carried over each fiscal year will be used as paid leave for when people needed to take time off because of illness, as well as estimating the potential liability upon retirement payout. Upon an employee's retirement, as I mentioned earlier, this past fiscal year, the total payout was almost $1.5 million. So it's a long-term liability that's being calculated. The other post-employment benefit is the actuarially determined number. Your district didn't come up with a calculation. Takes into account retirees, employment contract provisions in terms of health insurance payments, are benefits that the school district has been providing to their retirees, as well as will provide to future retirees. So, actuaries services are required in order to do the calculation. So they would take into account healthcare cost trend rates, interest rate discount rate to do a calculation. And in this case, for Jericho school districts, it's $102 million. And this is not unusual, and school districts as a government has to follow accounting standards issued by the GASB, similar to the FASB in the commercial world. And this is the GASB requiring local government, all governments to do this calculation. Many school districts' OPEB liability, that's what we call it, is oftentimes, at least the amount of their annual budget. So actually, in that regard, Jericho's OPEB liability, at least for this fiscal year, is not quite your annual budget. Okay, so, but yes, it's a staggering number, and it's required by accounting standards to be reported. But what does that mean to your overall financial health? Not a whole lot, because every year your annual budget, the school district has to look at health insurance premium. Okay? We're hearing in the news now, premiums might go up significantly come January. So all that will impact your annual budget, the budget increase. But as far as this $102 million, It's a lot of information, a lot of calculation, and the district has to pay for these actuarial calculation, all to satisfy a financial reporting requirement.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Anyone else? And just the last part, as Mr. Varani knows, there's for those of you who are following the $250,000 of club money, there's a separate extra classroom activities fund audit that Mr. Yu's firm did. It's broken up, that 250 amongst a little bit over 40 clubs. You'll see certain clubs have a bunch of money, certain clubs are dirt poor. But really it has to do also with money that gets carried over from year to year, whether it's from a class fund or from a specific class fund or from a specific club fund. So that's, again, included in this month's or this meeting's board package. Thank you very much, Mr. Yu.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
With that, I would like to turn it over to Dr. Kravitz for the superintendent's report.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight on my 87th day in the district. I want to express my sincere gratitude to everyone who worked tirelessly to make our homecoming festivities such a tremendous success. The weather was beautiful, and seeing so many joyful faces with a wonderful reminder of what we can achieve when we come together as a community. A heartfelt thank you goes out to all the organizers and our amazing students for the efforts and enthusiasm. Adding to the excitement, CBS Sunday Morning was on site during homecoming to film a segment on our recent cell phone policy. We believe the piece will air over the next few weeks, we're not sure. Thank you to the students and staff who participated and represented our district so well. As we move forward into the school year, we've successfully completed all our back-to-school activities. I'm pleased to report that our enrollment is currently 3,299 students, slightly up from 3,288 at this time last year. Our mission to improve every day continues. There's a great deal happening across the district, and we encourage you to stay connected through our website and Instagram accounts. We're exploring a redesign of the website to better serve our community. Since the start of the school year, we've welcomed 341 new Instagram followers, and our pages have received over 234,000 views, an exciting sign of growing engagement. Thank you again for your time and your support and your commitment to our schools. Together, we continue to move forward stronger each and every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kravitz. Before we move into comments from the public, just a couple of additional updates. We are the Transparent Love to Provide Information Board. The board has recently decided to move ahead with redoing our policy manual. So that is a process you will hear much about, hopefully just over the next 12 months. There will be probably some policy committees formed, input from the public to come listen to those policy committees with very, very limited participation will be going on. Similarly, the district is looking to upgrade its website. That is a project that is being spearheaded, I believe, by Ms. Melito at this point, with Dr. Kravitz and Mr. Larkin. Also, stay tuned for that. Given the abundance of information about our communication systems and how we communicate with parents, we are always looking for new ways to do that. It's another project that you will see and hopefully hear improvements on over the next 12 months. We have a very, very aggressive agenda for this school year. And then finally, just so that I don't get phone calls or anyone else here doesn't get phone calls, over the next month, I expect we will see Newsday publish its annual list of the most highly compensated educators in the state of New York. It is almost certain that we will have an individual included in that list. Please note, when you see those compensation levels, they very often will include not just that person's salary, but rather includes a lot of accrued or deferred compensation from, say, 30 years worth of service or something like that. So take it with read the full article before you call me. Thank you very much. With that, we will move to the opportunity for the public to be heard. If you would like to make a comment or ask a question, please approach the microphone, tell us your name, and if you are representing a specific group, your affiliation. If you would like your statement to be included in our board minutes, you must hand a written copy of your remarks to our business official, Ms. Michelle Stokel, before leaving here tonight. I'd also like to reiterate a change to board practice and board policy that we announced at our September 11th meeting. I promise this will only be the second and last time I will announce this. If you attend in person, we are excited to listen and have our entire community listen to your comments and questions. However, we will no longer publicly read email comments. Any email comments may still be included in the meeting minutes if explicitly requested. You should also continue to send questions to the board. You will get a response. As in the past, those emails can be sent to boe@jerichoschools.org or boequestions@jerichoschools.org. Despite this revision, we remain committed to transparency and will always try to be as open as possible to public comment and as responsive as possible to questions from the community. With that, I now open it up for any opportunity for the public to be heard. Anyone? Given we have no comments, we will just remind people, we're going to do it later, we'll do it now. Our next meeting is Thursday, October 9th, and then you also note that our meeting that was originally scheduled for October 30th has now been moved to Wednesday, October 29th. So next meeting's, wait, is it 9th or 19th? October 19th, I think I just misspoke there. Oh, it is October 9th, I'm sorry, October 9th, I misspoke properly. October 9th and October 29th. We will now, given there is no interest in speaking, of course, interest in what we're saying, close that and move to unfinished business. We have several generous parties willing to participate tonight. First, new business. Given that they are donations, we're going to read them all. Be it resolved that the Board of Education accept a donation from NYSIR in the amount of $1,000, along with Frontline Education in the amount of $1,000 to be used towards Superintendent's Conference Day. Be it further resolved that the district increase budget code, blah, 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 in the amount of $2,000 for this purpose. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Mrs. Vartnett. Mr. Jin, second. Any comment? Thank you very much. All in favor? Thank you. Be it resolved that the Jericho Board of Education accept a donation from SEPTA in the amount of $250 to be allocated to Cool Beans Catering. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Mrs. Citron. Thank you, Dr. Malchandra, for the second. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you again, SEPTA. Be it resolved that the Board of Education accept a donation from the Nassau County School Facilities Association in the amount of $3,000 to be used towards enhancing Jericho's professional development programs and or facility improvements at the district's discretion. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Mrs. Vartnett. Second. Mr. Jin, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? Oh, sorry.
So the front line is just for us?
No, I think she's talking about.
The Nassau County School Facilities.
Regardless, we thank Nassau County School Facilities Association. All in favor, accepting their money. Thank you very much. We now move on to funding reserves. Mr. Goodstack, would you please recommend a way for us to pass these without me reading all of these?
Be resolved that the board authorizes and approves number 4 as set forth in the attachments.
Be it resolved, the board approved number 4 as set forth in the attachment. Do I have a motion? Mr. Jin, thank you. Mrs. Bartnoff, thank you. Any discussion? Just so everyone knows, this goes back to the reserves that Mr. Jin was asking about earlier. Constitutes, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 reserve funds that the district has set up, required by law that we fund. And any other comments from any board members, any administrators? Ms. Stokel? Nothing? Okay. There we go. All in favor? 5-0. Thank you very much. What is next? The acceptance of the external audit report. Recommended motion, be resolved that the Board of Education acknowledges receipt of the school district's external audit report from Cohen and Danowski LLP and accepts the district's external audit report for the year ended June 30th, 2025. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Dr. Alejandro. Second, thank you, Mrs. Vartanoff. Any further discussion amongst the board members? And this will be the final offer to the public for any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions on the audit report. Thank you very much. All in favor of accepting the audit report? 5-0. Thank you very much. Recommended motion, be it resolved that the Board of Education accepts the building level school emergency response plan for the 2025-2026 school year as submitted. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Mrs. Vartanoff. Second, Mr. Jin, thank you very much. Discussion.
I think I have a question.
Mr. Cohen, do you want to start off just telling us what this is versus the district plan? And obviously there's, what happened to your microphone? Oh. Obviously there's a high level of confidentiality involved with this, which is why it's not included in the package.
Yes, district plans are public building plans because of some highly confidential information are not made public. The building plans were already adopted and were approved by the board, and then the state came out with a couple of extra additions that we needed to put in, most specifically around adding plans for CPR and any cardiac issues that may come about, really more specifically for visitors into our buildings, especially after hours. So all the plans have been appropriately updated in consultation with Alteris, our safety consulting company, and that's what these now are.
So I just.
Okay, you found it?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask regarding the new, and maybe I'm mispronouncing it, Desha's, is it Desha's law? So it's supposed to be in place by January 2026, correct? At this point, you know, do we expect to be ready sooner than that, to have everything in place, implementation, training?
Again, we're working with each of the buildings in the district, so we certainly intend to be in compliance. We don't have any questions about doing that. I know that we have Brian from Alteris coming to a future meeting, so certainly he can talk a little bit from Alteris' consulting standpoint and how they're working together. But in my work leading the district safety committee and working with each of the buildings, there are no problems in place.
And just on another note, what do we do when we have a new hire come in, not in the beginning of the year? Like, how do we catch them up within like the first 30 days of their employment to be extremely familiar or put into practice, you know, the emergency response plans?
So the emergency response plans are really handled at each of the buildings. So, you know, there's a training that goes on, you kind of are alluding to it, in the beginning of the year that is done with each of the faculties. And then any hires that we make, there's both some work at the district level through HR, and then obviously each of the buildings to get people up to speed.
So it's just up to each individual school principal, you're saying, or?
Well, ultimately, I mean, you know, we have ways for teachers to have folders that go over the emergency response plans in each of our classrooms. And, you know, every one of our new hires has a mentor. That includes aspects of safety, and it's certainly, so it can happen at multiple levels. It can happen through that mentoring. It can happen through building level administration, and it can also happen through the hiring process.
But ultimately, I mean, it's from top down, where's the responsibility lies to make sure that that person is receiving the proper training, is there any, besides just giving a manual to them, here, read it at home, is there anything else that goes into play?
Well, I mean, ultimately, you know, we're running drills consistently throughout the year, so there's opportunities to practice all of our emergency training. And, you know, ultimately, it would be the administrative team at each building that is working more one-on-one with employees in that building to make sure that, especially during those drills, those things are accounted for and are happening properly.
And how many drills are we running legally now per
So
building?
you have to run 10 drills a year. So there's a series of evacuation drills that you have to do, as well as other emergency planning drills such as lockdown drills and things like that.
So 10 in total, including all? Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Cohen, for that summary. All in favor of adopting the building levels emergency response plan? 5-0. Thank you very much. Moving into approval of schedules. Unless someone on the board has an objection, I'd love to just take all the schedules at once. Anybody? So that is schedule little I1, the treasurer's report, all the way through schedule KK, which would be the non-instructional leave of absence. So unless anyone has a problem, do I have a motion to approve all of our schedules in one fell swoop? Thank you, Mrs. Martinoff. Second, thank you, Mr. Jin. Any discussion? There's recently been some talk and websites talking about BOCES. You'll see in the check registry in this package, there are 2 large checks made out to BOCES. I can assure you when had some questions about it. Obviously, as you can see, Mr. Manuel is not here this evening. We will discuss those next month, but we are sure that they are legitimate charges, but we're going to go over the timing and what they're paying for. But with that said, no other comments, questions? All in favor of approving schedules as mentioned? 5-0. Thank you very much. As we said earlier, we look forward to seeing many of you and others at our next meeting on Thursday, October 9th. And also, again, please note the October 30th meeting has been moved to Wednesday, October 29th. Unless a board member has something to add, as all business on tonight's agenda is complete. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you, Mrs. Martinoff. Second. Mr. Jin, thank you. All in favor? Have a lovely evening, folks.